In life, we often find ourselves caught up in expectations, anxieties, and hurry, trying to control the course of things. We all go through this at some point, the pressure to make situations happen in a specific way at the time we envision. But the truth is, life has its own rhythms, and no matter how hard we try to rush things, everything arrives in its own time. What we need to understand is that true magic happens when we choose to trust this process. Just as nature follows its course, without rushing, we too must learn to respect the rhythm of life. Imagine a tree growing. In the beginning, it's just a small seed buried in the ground, with no visible progress. However, over time, it transforms into something magnificent, without any haste in the process. The growth of the tree mirrors what happens in our own lives. We are in constant transformation, even when we can't immediately see the results of our efforts. Every step taken, no matter how small, brings us closer to becoming a better version of ourselves. Accepting that things unfold as they should, without forcing or rushing, is one of the greatest lessons life has to offer. When we trust the process, we begin to realize that every phase of our journey has a purpose, and we are exactly where we need to be. This doesn't mean that the journey will always be easy or free of challenges, but by trusting it, we become more at peace, more open to the opportunities that arise each day. Life doesn't operate in a linear fashion, and we don't always see immediate results. Often the difficulty is high, the path seems long, and the answers don't come as quickly as we would like. But just as a seed needs time to grow, change and personal growth also require patience. Every moment, no matter how difficult, is a valuable lesson. When we learn to trust this process, we begin to feel lighter, less anxious, and more connected to what truly matters. At times, the world pressures us to achieve quick results, and this can lead us to feel a constant need to be in control. But the secret lies in learning to let go. By releasing the need to control every aspect of our lives, we can live more freely. Imagine, for instance, the cycle of nature. Trees don't rush their growth, flowers don't rush their blooming, and the wind doesn't demand that leaves fall before their time. Everything follows its course naturally, and so should we. Instead of pushing for immediate results, the focus should be on giving our best in every step. The rest will follow naturally. This trust in the process allows us to live more fully, appreciate the present moment, and understand that everything is happening exactly as it should. This doesn't mean we should be passive or inactive. Trusting the process also means making decisions with intention and action, but without anxiety or pressure to control everything. We should focus on what we can do now and let the rest unfold with time. Patience then becomes one of the greatest virtues we can cultivate. True wisdom comes with the understanding that, just like a tree grows underground without rushing, our growth also happens invisibly in many moments. Every step, every effort, every lesson, no matter how small it seems, is preparing us for what is to come. When we allow ourselves to trust the natural rhythm of life, we not only overcome challenges, but transform them into opportunities for growth. Life has a peculiar way of teaching us the importance of letting go of control. Often we create such firm expectations that we forget that everything around us is in constant flux. Letting go of expectations means understanding that things won't always follow the path we plan for them, and sometimes that is exactly what allows us to experience something even more valuable. There are times when the detours that seem like obstacles are, in reality, hidden opportunities waiting to be discovered. When we cling too tightly to one particular idea of how things should go, we close ourselves off to the surprises life has in store. A rigid expectation can limit our ability to see what truly matters. Instead of waiting for everything to go according to plan, why not make room for life to show us something new and unexpected? Often, it's the unplanned moments that lead us to what we truly need. Picture yourself walking down a path when suddenly it veers off into a trail you've never seen before. If you're not willing to explore that new direction, you might miss out on some incredible experiences. Life, like nature, follows its own rhythm, and by letting go of our expectations to control it, we allow ourselves to see the beauty in the surprises that come along the way. Each detour, each shift in direction, carries with it a lesson. The art of letting go of expectations also teaches us to be present in the moment. When we are too fixated on the future or on the perfection of a plan, we miss out on the joy of living in the here and now. By letting go of the weight of our expectations, we become more open to the possibilities and the fluidity of life. This doesn't mean we should be passive or indifferent, but rather flexible in how we respond to the events that unfold on our path. There are moments when a plan we thought was perfect begins to unravel in front of us, and it's in these moments that true magic can happen. When we accept that things don't always go as expected, we open the doors to new experiences. Perhaps what seemed like a mistake or a change for the worse is actually a wonderful opportunity for personal growth, discovery, and evolution. Letting go of expectations doesn't mean giving up on our dreams or goals. It's simply a way to release the pressure we place on ourselves when we become too attached to a single outcome. When we fixate on a particular end result, we often find ourselves frustrated, missing the joy of the process. Instead of focusing on a specific ending, we can learn to appreciate each step of the journey, knowing that the end result will be what it needs to be. Life has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. Often, what we thought was a failure leads to success, and what seemed like a lost opportunity opens the door to something much greater. By letting go of expectations, we allow life to unfold in a more enriching and exciting way. Flexibility is the fertile soil in which the greatest opportunities grow. Each moment we experience holds its own value, and by accepting life as it comes with all its changes, we discover a world of possibilities. Letting go of expectations doesn't mean living without goals, but rather living with an open heart for whatever comes our way. This practice helps us become more resilient, more adaptable, and more ready for the surprises life inevitably brings. A crucial part of this success is learning to be grateful for the unexpected changes. When something is out of our control, we can choose to face it with either a sense of loss or as an opportunity for growth. By doing this, we allow ourselves to evolve with greater ease. Letting go of expectations helps us live more serenely, accepting things as they are, rather than as we wish them to be. Finally, true freedom comes when we accept that life doesn't follow a fixed script. By releasing our expectations and surrendering to the natural flow of events, we discover that there's so much more to live and learn. Life is unpredictable, and it's that unpredictability that makes it rich with surprises. If you enjoyed this, take a moment to share in the comments what expectations you feel ready to let go of in your own life. Maybe there's a plan you've been holding on to so tightly that could benefit from a little more flexibility. We'd love to hear your thoughts and encourage you to subscribe so we can continue to explore these themes together. Remember, we're here to grow with you. In a world where everything seems to be in constant motion, taking a pause may seem like an almost rebellious act. Society often tells us that being busy is a sign of productivity and success. But the truth is, our soul needs rest too. Recognizing that taking a break is not laziness but rather a necessity is a key step in finding balance in our lives. Moments of silence and disconnection from the external noise aren't just a luxury, they're a way to recharge our inner energy. Just like a musical instrument needs to be tuned to sound its best, our minds and bodies also need moments of rest to function at their highest potential. When we're constantly busy, our energy slowly wears down, often without us realizing. By pausing, we give ourselves the space to renew our strength, and this directly impacts our well-being. Rest for the soul is a form of self-care, a deep breath after a long day of effort. Often, silence is viewed as uncomfortable or useless. However, it has a profound power to reconnect us with ourselves. When we stop to listen to the silence, we can hear thoughts, emotions, and needs that are otherwise overshadowed by the noise of the world. It's in this quiet space that true connection with ourselves happens, allowing us to understand what we really need to move forward. Disconnecting from external noise is another powerful practice. The world is filled with distractions and stimuli competing for our attention. Sometimes all we need is to step away from the chaos, giving ourselves the moment to breathe and hear what our heart has to say. This doesn't mean avoiding reality, but rather giving ourselves the time to pause and listen without the pressure of doing something all the time. Taking a break also teaches us to live more in the present. When we're always rushing from one task to the next, we lose touch with the current moment. Pausing allows us to observe what's happening around and within us without haste. It helps us live with more presence and enjoy the small things, like a soft breeze or the sound of birds chirping. Rest is, in fact, a way to deepen our connection to what truly matters. It's important to understand that resting isn't selfish or lazy. It's a practice of self-love. When we give ourselves the permission to stop, we honor our need to recharge so that we can continue with more strength and balance. After all, we can't give our best if we're constantly drained. Soul rest is also an opportunity for introspection. We might choose to meditate or simply sit in silence without any need to do anything. These moments of reflection are essential in allowing us to see what truly matters, far from external pressures. It's a chance to observe our thoughts without judgment, find clarity, and release accumulated tension. Each break is an invitation to reconnect with inner peace. These moments help cultivate a more positive mindset, allowing us to recognize the blessings around us. In times of overload, it can be hard to understand the importance of rest, but just as nature needs its resting seasons to bloom again, so do we. We need moments of rest to continue growing. When we learn to value rest, we give permission for our energy to recover and our minds to clear, creating space for new ideas and experiences. Ultimately, rest for the soul isn't something to feel guilty about. On the contrary, it's an essential practice for our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. By pausing, we allow ourselves to become stronger, more balanced, and better prepared to face life's challenges. Rest doesn't mean weakness. It's a way of nurturing ourselves. It's when we pause and give ourselves this time that we become more resilient, more centered, and more equipped to deal with the demands of life. Taking a break is not about avoiding work, but about knowing that we can only do our best when we've taken care of ourselves first. If you've ever felt the need to take a break, share in the comments what your soul needs to recharge. How do you rest in a world that's always rushing? We'd love to hear how you find moments of peace. And if this resonates with you, consider subscribing and sticking around for more meaningful reflections like this one. Too often we are so focused on the future or the past that we fail to see the beauty of the present moment. We live in a world full of distractions, where we are always running from one task to another, rarely stopping to notice what's around us. The true beauty of life lies in the simple details, and the practice of mindfulness helps us recognize this. When we learn to live in the present, our perception of life transforms profoundly. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully focused on what we are doing, without judgment or distractions. It can be as simple as drinking a cup of tea, feeling the texture of a leaf in your hand, or listening to the gentle sound of rain falling. When we practice mindfulness, we start to see how life unfolds in a beautiful and wondrous way, right here and now. The present moment is all we truly have. When we connect with it, we experience a profound sense of peace. Our daily lives are filled with fleeting and precious moments, but often we don't notice them. We're so focused on our worries or our future plans that we forget to look around and appreciate what is already here. Every breath, every simple gesture holds the potential for beauty and joy. Mindfulness invites us to slow down and fully engage in each moment, transforming even the most mundane tasks into rich, meaningful experiences. The present is a constant invitation to slow down, to feel life and to really be in it. When we are fully present, there is no room for worries about the future or regrets about the past. We simply are, in the moment, experiencing life exactly as it is. However, practicing mindfulness requires patience. Our minds are often filled with a constant stream of thoughts, worries, and distractions. This makes it difficult to focus on the present, but with time and practice, we can train our minds to calm down and concentrate on the now. The simple act of noticing our breath, feeling our feet on the ground, or watching the sky can help us connect with what's real and vital in this exact moment. Life is happening all the time, but so often we are too distracted to notice. Every smile, every conversation, every view around us has something unique to offer, but we must be willing to pay attention. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to see the world more clearly, with more gratitude and with an openness to all that life has to offer. The beauty of the present moment is also found in acceptance. When we accept the present, with all its ups and downs, we begin to see it more clearly. We are not fighting against it. Instead, we are flowing with it. Even in the difficulties, there is something to learn. Each moment offers a chance for growth and connection, and when we are mindful, we can recognize this beauty in every experience, no matter how small or challenging. At times, we get so focused on wanting more or achieving the next big thing that we forget to live in what we already have. But when we allow ourselves to live in the present, we realize that what we need is already here. Happiness isn't something that exists in the future or the past. It is in the here and now. The true transformation happens when we stop delaying happiness for the future or lamenting what has already passed. The present moment is all we really have, and when we embrace it fully, life becomes richer, more meaningful. Mindfulness helps us awaken to the beauty of the now, and in doing so, we begin to see life as it truly is, a precious gift. If you've ever found yourself caught up in the rush of life, share with us how you bring yourself back to the present. What simple moments have brought you peace recently? Let's create a space where we can all learn to appreciate the now, and if you're enjoying these insights, consider subscribing to our channel for more reflections on how to live fully in the moment. Time holds a wisdom of its own that we often forget to respect. We live in a world that moves fast, where we want everything to happen immediately, and this creates a sense of impatience. But time is a teacher that shows us that everything has its own rhythm. When we trust this natural rhythm, we allow growth to happen peacefully and harmoniously, without rushing or forcing anything. Imagine a tree growing slowly over the years. It doesn't rush to reach the sky, but grows at the pace it needs. The same is true for our life journeys. We want quick results, but true transformation takes time. When we try to rush things, we often prevent our own growth. Time, when respected, teaches us that everything happens at the right moment, even if we can't see the results immediately. Impatience is one of the biggest barriers to our growth. It pushes us to control every aspect of our lives, which creates anxiety. When we're desperate to see immediate results, we forget to trust the natural process of life. The desire for control distances us from our true essence and prevents us from living with greater peace. When we learn to trust time, we can relax and allow life to unfold on its own. It's not easy to trust time, especially when things aren't happening the way we imagined. But time is wise, and when we give it space, we begin to notice that everything falls into place at its own pace. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. When we allow time to be our guide, we learn to live with more calm and clarity, knowing that what we need is already beginning to unfold at the right time. The desire to control everything makes us lose sight of what's happening in the present. Instead of enjoying what's happening now, we focus on how we want things to be. This impatience makes us miss valuable learning opportunities. Time teaches us that growth isn't instant, but gradual. When we start viewing life this way, we become calmer, more flexible, and better able to cope with challenges with an open mind. Time also teaches us the importance of living one day at a time. Instead of worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, we can focus on the present. Trusting time means understanding that we don't have to rush things for them to manifest. Patience allows us to savor each moment, knowing that everything we need will reveal itself as it should. Growth, whether personal, spiritual, or professional, doesn't happen in a straight line. Sometimes we take one step forward and 2 steps back. Time teaches us that every moment, every challenge has a purpose. When we accept the rhythm of life, we stop fighting against it and begin to flow with it. By trusting time, we become more resilient and better prepared to handle changes. Impatience often arises from comparison. We look at others and see their results and achievements, and we feel behind in our own progress. But everyone has their own growth pace. What's important is recognizing that we're on our own path, and time will take us to where we need to go. There's no rush. There's no need to race. When we trust time, we realize that comparison is pointless. Each moment we live holds something to teach us. Time is our ally, and by trusting it, we learn to appreciate each stage of our journey. Anxiety fades, and peace settles in. No matter how uncertain the future may seem, when we trust the process, we know that each day is a new opportunity to grow. Life unfolds perfectly when we don't try to force it to follow our own schedules. Time as a teacher shows us that true growth comes naturally. We may have ambitions, we may have dreams, but when we learn to trust time, we begin to live with more wisdom. Patience becomes a virtue, and we understand that every phase of life has its own significance. Time is the greatest teacher, and when we respect its rhythm, life becomes richer, deeper, and more fulfilling. If you felt the weight of impatience in your own journey, share with us how you've learned to trust the timing of your life. How has patience helped you see things unfold? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to our channel to continue exploring the wisdom of time together. Many times, we spend so much energy trying to control everything around us that we forget there is something bigger at play. When we decide to do our best and then let go of control over the rest, we create space for the universe to do its work. Trust is an act of surrender, where we acknowledge that, even without fully understanding it, life always leads us exactly where we need to be. Life doesn't always follow the plans we imagine, but often it follows the exact course that brings us to our greatest good. When we trust the process, we stop fighting the flow of life and accept that not everything is within our control. This doesn't mean being passive, but rather doing our part and then allowing life to unfold in its own way. The universe has its own way of guiding us to where we are meant to be, even if it's not what we expect. Imagine yourself as a gardener taking care of a plant. You plant the seed, water it, place it in the sun, and then you need to trust that the plant will grow. You can't control the time it will take or when it will bloom, but you trust that it will flourish in its own time. Trusting the universe is exactly like this. We do the best we can in the present and then surrender to the unfolding of events, knowing that life will take care of the rest. It's easy to feel anxious when things don't happen the way we expect or when answers don't come right away. But true trust comes when we understand that life doesn't need to happen on our timeline. By trusting the universe, we free ourselves from the need to control every detail and allow it to guide us to the right place at the right time. This is one of the greatest acts of faith, knowing that everything that happens has a purpose, even when we can't see it. When we trust the universe, we also learn to trust ourselves more. If the universe is guiding us, then we, as part of this universal energy, are capable of making the right decisions for our growth. Trusting the universe doesn't mean being passive. It means doing our best in the present moment and then relaxing into the knowledge that life will handle what is beyond our reach. It's like a river that follows its course without forcing anything, but with the certainty that it will eventually reach the sea. Similarly, when we trust the universe, we know that we're on the path we're meant to be on, even when the way forward isn't clear. Sometimes, the universe leads us down unexpected paths. What may seem like a setback or detour is often the universe's way of bringing us exactly what we need, even if we don't realize it at the time. Trusting the universe requires having the courage to move forward, even when we don't fully understand why things are happening the way they are. When we accept that not all the answers are in our hands, we can live with more ease and confidence. Every challenge we face becomes an opportunity to trust even more deeply, opening space for new possibilities to emerge. This trust teaches us patience and helps us become more resilient. Life is not a race, it's a journey, and by trusting the process, we allow ourselves to flow with it instead of fighting against it. The universe also teaches us the importance of being present. When we're always focused on what's next or what we wish had already happened, we miss out on the beauty of the present moment. Trusting the universe helps us let go of our rigid plans and opens us to the surprises that lie ahead. The more we surrender to the flow of life, the more we allow the universe to guide us to the experiences and lessons that are meant for us. Finally, trusting the universe is about knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if we can't always see the full picture. By letting go of the need to control everything and surrendering to life's rhythm, we create space for peace, for growth, and for magic to happen. The universe has a plan for us, and we can trust that it will always lead us to where we are meant to be. As you reflect on trusting the universe, we invite you to share with us. What has trusting the process taught you? How has letting go of control opened new doors in your life? Share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear your journey. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. Together we can continue exploring the beauty of life's flow and all the lessons it brings.